Well, buongiorno everybody. I hope that you guys are ready for something else, getting us ready for New Year's. This new year, we need lots of luck. So we're doing everything we can to attract it to us. This is not an Italian recipe, but its symbolism dates back to Christopher Columbus. Imagine that. So, how many people know that the pineapple is a symbol? It's a symbol of friendship, hospitality, generosity, and appropriately graciousness, and right now social, we'll say social warmth, which we're all craving so bad. We all want to be social. We want to be together with our families around the table. So I suggest you get a pineapple as a centerpiece, and then you eat it afterwards, of course. But how about getting a couple pineapples, and why don't you make this wonderful pineapple cake for New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, because it is a sign of all kind of good things. So let me really quick, I'll tell you the history of why the pineapple is the symbol of all these things I just said. Friendship, hospitality, social warmth and love and welcoming. And so in Christopher Columbus days, when he landed in, I think it's Guadeloupe, the first place he landed, he found pineapples and he was thrilled. They're so yummy and tasty. But it was really hard to get them back to Europe. So if by some crazy chance some were gotten there, it was a sign of something really special. It was also a sign of wealth and prosperity that you could have pineapple. Apparently they even rented pineapples. You could have it on your table for the day and then it would go to the higher bidder at the end of the day for them to eat it. And it's kind of crazy stories that go behind here, a little research that I did. But now pineapples are, you can get them all over the world, and they have always been, for, hundreds of years now, a sign of good luck and prosperity, and we need that this new year. And so this cake, originally I found it was called the anti-crabby cake, and when I first found it, I thought it was like a crab cake, because I'm from Maryland, that's where my mind goes. And then it come to find out it's this pineapple cake. Well, I changed the recipe a little bit because, me, I don't like to do everything exact. I lessened the sugar because it doesn't really need it because it's got all this pineapple in it. But we changed it. We call it the Hurricane Sandy cake. You can call it whatever you want, but it is a pineapple cake, and it is really good and very wonderfully welcome if somebody comes in and has a piece. Never had anybody not like it. So, easy peasy. You need nothing but a spoon and a bowl. You don't need well, we're going to use the hand mixer for the frosting just because. But the cake itself is just like this. So the recipe is, ready, Freddie? I'm so silly today. 2 cups of flour. Now, if by chance it seems like I'm doing a little extra, it's because today I'm making it 1.5 times, so I'm putting it in a bigger pan. I usually put this in a standard like 9x13 pan, just baking dish. This is not the kind of cake you take out and flip over. This is one you leave in the dish. So I always recommend use a pretty dish. But anyway, I'm 1.5ing this because I'm using a 10x14. So anyway, but this is the regular recipe. Don't ignore me. So 2 cups of flour, 1 cup or 1 1/4. You can try the 1 1/4, but honestly, 1 cup is plenty. So your sugar, because you don't really need too much sweet. Because then you're going to have 20 ounces, or the equivalent is like 560 grams. Or if you have 1 big can of pineapple, that's 20 ounces also. So I'm just putting this in like this. I actually had a big giant number 10 can, so I had to measure it out. Okay, the pineapple. This is how easy this is. Just dump it all in. 3 eggs. So I'm going to use this bowl here to crack the eggs in. 1. Well, actually, I'm sorry. It takes 2 eggs. I'm putting in 3 because I'm 1.5ing this. With 2 eggs. So far, 2 cups of flour, 1 to 1 1/4 cups of sugar, 20 ounces of pineapple, 2 eggs, and now, making everything nice and neat, we're putting in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Of course, I'm putting in 3 because I'm 1.5ing it, and some vanilla. Teaspoon or 2. It's really a teaspoon is the original recipe. I always put in a little more. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix this all together. And yes, it's that easy. It's all it is. No butter, no oil. It's crazy that this is all it needs. Just make sure you break up your eggs all the way. And just enjoy the stir. You know me. Enjoy your stir. Embrace the stir. You know, and as this all stirs around, you know, you can see it start to bubble up, you know, that baking soda in there. And really, it mixes in quick. You can mix the baking soda in with the flour if you want, but it all mixes up fine. Look at this. So you got this nice, thick, gloppy, lumpy with the pineapple in it. Now, you can use canned pineapple, or you can take this baby right here, peel it, and just throw it in the food processor. And you put everything in here, the pineapple, the chunks, the liquid, everything. So don't be concerned. You can use canned pineapple that's already cut up for you. If you have rings or you have chunks, then just pulse them a couple times in the processor. If not, get the crushed pineapple, or you can, like I most of the time do. This one time I just happened to have this big giant can. It's been sitting in my cabinet. I'm like, you know, let me use this up. We're gonna make a couple pineapple cakes. But the fresh pineapple is the best, and it's easy. And usually one pineapple is enough for one cake. You might have a slice or two left over, and oh darn, you gotta eat it. Okay, so now, like I said, I'm using a big 10 by 13 pan, so that's why I made this a 1.5. Usually I do a 9 by 11. This one will be a little bigger, but that's okay. This is that easy. You don't need to grease the pan, nothing. Easy. Just spread this evenly around the pan, and that's it. And this goes in the oven just like this. So let's see here. Oh, and guess what? You put it in the oven. And you take it out. Look at me. I finally did it. I made one ahead of time so you guys can see. It's this beautiful golden color on top. Oh, my timing was perfect. I'm so excited. It's got a nice little bounce to it, but it's not mushy and it's not too firm. And so now I'm going to show you what you do next. So we have this beautiful pineapple. So this is why I said put it in a pretty dish, because then you can just serve it like this and, you know, it looks nice. Because this is really not like a flip out cake. This is a soft, moist cake. Okay, so what we have now is 8 ounces, 1 package, half a pound, whatever you want to call it, cream cheese. Or you can use mascarpone cheese, which guess what? That's what I'm doing today, because I have this big giant thing of mascarpone. I want to use it up. 1 stick of butter, 8 ounces, 113 grams, something like that. And 2 cups of powdered sugar. So we're going to just put this in here and see how much of a mess I can make on my black apron. And then we've got a couple tablespoons of milk that we need. So I softened these. You can see I can stick my, I did cut up the butter so it would soften better. Let's see if I can just turn this on low. Ah! Ta-da! Oh! Okay, so it's just so nice. Okay, so this is a very loose, you know, little cream cheese frosting. It's not real thick and gloppy. So now what we do is this. Let's see if this is, whoop, still too hot for me to touch. You really want to ice this warm. It's best when it's warm because it just melts all over the top. Then you let it cool off. But let me tell you, it's good when you eat it warm. It's good when you eat it cold. I'd say it's good the next day, but it never lasts till the next day. Now, I have an offset spatula. See, I don't know, can you see it's kind of one of those crooked ones? It's like, you gotta have one of these. Even if you're not a cake decorator or baker or anything like that, you really gotta have one. It just makes spreading things out so much better. Okay, so this baby just melts all over the top. So it's a very simple, I can't lift this up really well. These little Pampered Chef spatulas, little teeny ones like for brownies and stuff, they're the best. So I'm just gonna cut one little square out of here. Okay, so you've got this beautiful little cake. It's golden on the inside. It's got a little golden or brownie golden on the top. And let me tell you, with this really soft, hot, oh no, this is so good. Yum. It is good warm, it's good cold. It is just delightful and such a nice thing to have for New Year's Eve or New Year's Day for dessert or for snack with coffee or breakfast even. You can have it plain without the frosting if you want to have it less sweet. You don't have to put the frosting on that thick. That's actually enough icing for one cake if you want to put it on thicker. I tend to just put a real thin layer on. So that's why that one recipe is enough for both of these that I'm making. But you can see this is just a real simple, now this is gonna slip a little, but a real simple cake. It's not one of those, nothing fancy, but I'm telling you, everybody comes back for more. Just, you know me, just sweet enough. A little bit of icing on top adds an extra little sweetness and flavor. It's so moist. It's so, and it's fruity, and it's just welcoming. So I really urge you to try this. I made this recipe, so and I have to share something. Now it's the end of the year. This was the first recipe I did back in March on a Saturday morning, trying to offer something easy for kids to do. And this was the first recipe I did for my pandemic video show here. And I'll probably do it again next year or something, you know, just to remind people, because I know you look at my archived videos, but sometimes there's new people want to see something new. And also we need to be reminded. You have to, sorry, I gotta lick the fingers. We gotta be reminded of our repertoire of recipes. This is a great one to keep in your arsenal. It has historic meaning in pineapple. It's tasty, it's easy, it's fast. I put that in. This one I put in literally just before I turned the camera on. And by the time I was ready to put the second one in, this one was just, you know, this one was done. I put it in like 5 minutes before. But I mean, you know, so in less than, you know, in half an hour, you've got a cake. You can have the whole thing done and nobody's away. So keep, you know, if you've got fresh pineapple, hallelujah, that's the best. But keep a couple cans of crushed pineapple in the back of the cabinet on reserve, and you can always make a pineapple cake because it's that easy. And I just, I love simple things because you can, okay, I don't want to say seem, because I am a good cook and I love to cook and I love to prepare. But it's so nice when people are like, wow, you whipped that up, and you can impress people so easily. It's just about taking a few minutes. Who the heck needs to go buy a cake mix when you can make something like this in 5 minutes? You just, if you always have flour, you always have sugar, you know, always got butter. There's certain basics you need to have in your pantry, and you can always make something. I'm telling you, this is one of them. So add this to your list. I will post the recipe this week. I did tell it to you, so really quickly. Sandy, this is my Superstorm Sandy cake. It's my pineapple welcome cake. It's an anti-crabby cake, similar to 2 cups of flour, 1 to 1 1/4 cups of sugar, 20 ounces of crushed pineapple, fresh or canned, 2 eggs, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. That's the cake. Mix it up. Throw it in a pan in the oven. Don't need to grease the pan or anything. The frosting is 1 pack of cream cheese, 8 ounces, 1 stick of butter, 4 ounces, 2 cups of powdered sugar, teaspoon of vanilla, and 1 or 2 teaspoons of milk. And that's it. Frost it warm, and you're good to go. Now, if you want to wait till it cools off and you want to like maybe pipe it or decorate it a little bit, by all means, go ahead. It's still going to taste good. But this is the way we do it, standard. It's all like nice and melted and even now. Before it was like a little gloppy. Takes a minute, and then when some falls off at the beginning, you just scrape it up like. I'm gonna have a real hard time not eating this whole cake today, especially because I got another one in the oven. I'm gonna have to give some away. Hey, good idea. It's welcoming time. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. We have one more day tomorrow before the new year is going to start. Hallelujah. Let's start this new year. Let's make it better than this year. But let's take 2020 and use what we've learned this year, and let's make 2021 better because of what we've learned. Okay? So have a great day. I will see you guys domani. Buona giornata, everybody. Say hello to me on here, and if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to youtube.com/dorinaskitchen for all my recipes as they come along in playlists, so you can find cakes easy and chicken dishes easy and all that stuff. So please help me keep it growing. But thanks to you guys, I broke that 1,000 mark. So now just go watch my videos. That'll make me happy and make you happy. Ciao.